Hello, welcome to your third class on Introduction to Land Navigation. In this class, we'll talk about an introduction to a technique called terrain association. Now, terrain association is simply the technique of using identifiable terrain to navigate with a map. It's important to note there's different types of identifiable terrain. Some of these, depending on the map and the terrain you're in, are more useful than others. Generally speaking, terrain features such as draws, spurs, hilltops, and cliffs are less likely to change over time and will more likely be accurately depicted on your map. While features like water and man-made features and vegetation might shift over time, and if you have an old map, might not be accurate. Now, in certain circumstances, these terrain features will be much more important to you and much easier to navigate off of. For example, if you're in a city, man-made features are very important. Now, some people get confused about terrain association, but it's something that's very intuitive. If you've ever been to a mall and looked at a kiosk and then looked at the stores that are in and around of where you want to go, you've terrain associated because that terrain, it's the storefront, it's a man-made feature, and you use that to navigate. What you'll most likely face in the competition, you'll be in the national forest or in some other wilderness area, and you'll have to rely on terrain such as depicted in this map here. Now, as you can see, there's terrain features, there's water features, and there's man-made features with this road, and it looks like there's a building here. Now, the easiest way to navigate with terrain association is first you should orient your map. If you don't have a compass, you should look around for identifiable terrain features like this hilltop here or here and orient your map according to those. And then you can simply look out and see if I'm holding my map in front of me and this is to my left and this is to my right, then I know this is north and I should be looking down into this valley here. If I have a compass, I can simply line up my compass with my north seeking arrow on my compass matching magnetic north, and my map is oriented to the ground. It's important to orient your map to the ground because it makes it easier to figure out where you are in relation to the terrain when you're looking around at the terrain. Now, say you know what road you're on, or you know a point you're at, and you just want to verify as you're moving along. An easy thing to do, and you constantly should be verifying with terrain association, is you can pull out your compass, you can shoot an azimuth to an identifiable terrain feature on the map. This one is 320 degrees, this hilltop. Then you go and you identify that terrain feature on the map, which is right here, and what do you know? It's almost exactly 320 degrees. So we're where we think we are, and that's probably good enough to kind of get a general idea of where you're at. Now, if you're completely lost and you don't know where you're at, you can do a thing called resection, and this is where you simply identify two things that you can identify on the map, and then you shoot an azimuth to each of those objects, convert those azimuths from magnetic to grid, and then calculate the back azimuth, and then draw a line from both those points to find out where they intersect. So I'll walk you through that very quickly here. Say you identify these 2 points on the ground, these two hilltops. You have no idea where you're at. You shoot an azimuth to this hilltop here, and you determine it's 274 degrees to that hilltop. Now we convert it from magnetic to grid. We have to add this 16.5, which is just the opposite of what we've been doing, converting from grid or map north to magnetic. And then we subtract 180 from that to find a back azimuth. That's just saying, a better example is if the north is here, it's 360 degrees, the back azimuth would be 180. So you subtract 180 degrees. Now if the azimuth we're shooting is less than 180 degrees, you can just add 180 degrees. As long as the number that ends up here is between 0 and 360 degrees, so you can read off your compass. So we go to this point now that we've calculated the back azimuth, and we just draw a line from that point along the back azimuth. So here it's 110 degrees, so we just draw that line back. Alright. Now we do the exact same thing for this other point. We shoot an azimuth, we calculate the back azimuth, it's 240. I'm skipping some steps here. And then we draw that line, and you figure out where we're at is right here in the middle of the intersection of those 2 points. That's your location on the map. So another way to use this is say that you knew that you're on this road, then you only need one of these lines, because wherever that line intersects the road, you know that's where you're at. So you're right there. So that's an easy kind of fix if you don't want to do all that math. If you're on a trail already, you can just point to something in the distance, get a back azimuth, figure out exactly where you are on that road. If you don't have that, you can pick 2 points in the distance that you can identify on the map and figure out exactly where you're at. So that's very helpful.